Hello and welcome to Tracy Momey Reads. I am back and today I'm going to be talking about romance books. I had someone send me a question, ironically enough, when I was kind of like jotting down what I wanted to talk about in this video. I gotten a question where somebody asked if I ever read romance books or specifically indie romance books. And heck yeah. I mean, I'll read all types of books as long as the story is good. I need a good, engaging story. I need a little bit of realism, and I'm good to go, So I'm not like a genre snob. Oh, I only read historical fiction. Oh, I only read self-help. Like you have a lot of people like that they think romance, it gets like the worst rap ever. Like that romance books are a waste of time or that's not real storytelling or whatever. I beg to differ, okay? Back in the day, that was my go-to genre, but the thing about the romance books that I really like to read, there has to also be a good storyline there, not just romance for the sake of romance or stuff that's just all fluff with no substance. You know what I mean? Those are the type of stories that I actually write the majority of. All my stories have a relationship element and there's some romance, but there's always a issue at the heart of the story. And then you just have these two characters that are drawn to each other. And like I said, those are the type of stories that I gravitated towards in the past. And I still read stories like that. I told y'all in another video that I had renewed my Kindle Unlimited subscription, actually doing a trial right now. So I have been reading a lot of books, and I think it's appropriate now that summer is coming to an end. I know it's not official until September, but most of the time when kids go back to school and, you're past the last holiday of the year, which we got Labor Day coming up, summer's over. So the books that I want to talk about today are like summer reads, beach reads, that's where people lump them into as if that's the only time you can read these books. These books can be read summertime, wintertime, springtime, anytime. But they are primarily books that I guess people take on vacation, because you don't want anything too heavy or anything like that. But a lot of these books, I'm just looking at my notes. Some of these stories are upwards of like 300 pages, 320 pages. But for me, when I get like into it and like the dialogue is good, the chemistry is good, the story is going good, then I just want to see what's going on. So I normally can finish these type of books in like a day and a half or 2 days max. So anyway, without further ado, there are 4 books that I would just want to give a quick rundown of my thoughts on to recommend. And I do recommend all 4 of these books, but they're in no particular order. I'm just going to go with the way I have them organized on my computer. So the first story I want to tell y'all about, and again, these are on Kindle Unlimited. I'm not sure if they're available like in a physical book for purchase or not, but I read them all on Kindle Unlimited. So the first book is called Royal by Rebel Shaw. Royal, and the title alludes to the main character's last name, Finnegan Royal. And let me just say something. These romance authors, they come up with just the most creative names that you have ever heard in your life. I've heard the name Finnegan before, but just when you put that together, Finnegan Royal, like who in real life has that name? Probably nobody. Anyway, we start off with the consummate playboy bachelor, because you got to have one of those for a good romance story. He is a club owner. Him and his best friend, they own like one of the hottest nightclubs in the city. And, like I said, he's a playboy. So not only is he making all this money, he has all these women. So he's just living the life, right? He's living his best life, or so he thinks. So this particular story, there's like a heart-wrenching part that comes early on. And everything I'm telling you guys, I just want you to know it's part of the blurb. So I'm just putting my own twist on it. But his brother and his sister-in-law, they're in a horrible accident with their young daughter. She's like 3 or 4 years old. Well, the brother and the wife don't make it. They die. And his sister-in-law was pregnant at the time. So you're talking about gut-wrenching early on in the book. But when Finnegan makes it to the hospital, his brother is still kind of like clinging to life, and he's able to talk to him. And he tells him, you know, please take care of our daughter. You know, we want you to raise her, because his wife did not have a good relationship with her parents, you know, and they are a piece of work. They show up in the story. But so now this guy's life, Finn's life, is turned upside down because he is now responsible for this little girl, you know, and she really needs him. Everything she's known, her parents, it's just gone, you know, in the blink of an eye, just like that. And, you know, he's not used to looking after anybody but himself. So he has an assistant that he goes to and is like, I need some help. Get me a nanny or somebody that can help me with this kid. And that brings in the lead female character in the story. Her name is London, and she's younger than him, not by much. She may be in her mid-20s and like maybe he's 30 or something. But anyway, she's kind of like, you know, stumbling through life. She has experience like being a nanny, working at a daycare, just still kind of trying to figure out what it is she wants to do. And, you know, she's one of these, don't take any shit from people and let you know how she feels. So you already know where this trope is going. Enemies to lovers. And, you know, because she like, Finn is used to people basically kissing his ass. I mean, he has money, he's good looking. I mean, you know, who's going to like challenge him? Well, London does. Constantly, because she's concerned for his needs. Like, you need to be here for her. Your life has changed. You can't be doing the same stuff that you used to do. And he knows it, but it frustrates the hell out of him that she's coming up in here trying to tell him what to do. And of course, that frustration leads to attraction. But, you know, he tries really hard not to get involved with her, because after all, I mean, she works for him, and his niece just falls in love with her, falls in love with London, and he knows that she needs stability. So he doesn't want to ruin anything by, you know, crossing that line. But of course, the line is crossed, the line is erased, the line is moved, the line is put into a circle, and they, you know, they ultimately can't fight their attraction. And there's a scene in the book, in his office, on a desk. And that's all I got to say about that. Woo! Okay. But yeah, the story, it just checked all the boxes. You know, enemies to lovers. There's a heartfelt storyline. There was a slightly dominant male, and there was a take no shit female, but she was willing to submit to the right man for the right reasons. The chemistry, you know, was off the chain, and it was steamy, like no fade to blacks here. So, you know, of course, with all romance novels, which is why we read them, there is a happily ever after. Took them some time to get there, but it was very satisfying to see the two of them finally come together. And like I said, the storyline, the dialogue, everything just made this a really good story. And I like the way also, even though, you know, you have this romance themey side over here that the author is doing really well, she also did, you know, pay attention to this sensitive issue of this child overnight becoming an orphan, and how they all were dealing with their grief, how he dealt with his grief with his brother. And London had kind of gone through something similar when she was younger. So yeah, it was just very well-rounded story. Very good read. Add it to your list. Royal by Rebel Shaw. Okay, next up, Just One Favor by Stephanie Rose. Now, this one is along the lines of a Friends to Lovers book. And the storyline is similar to many stories in this particular genre, where you have a guy and a girl who are, you know, best friends or friends. And in this case, actually, I think they were kind of frenemies. They grew up together. Their moms are best friends. They have been in each other's lives since they were infants. But she always would tease him and do little things and aggravate him. And so, you know, as the story, when it opens up, like, he's annoyed by her. But we learn the real reasons why she was teasing and why he was annoyed. Okay, so the premise of the book is the main characters, Tyler and Olivia. Tyler's cousin is getting married, okay? And the girl that he is marrying, her cousin is Tyler's ex. And his ex left him for his best friend. So it's a whole bunch of drama. And And Tyler really does not want to go to this wedding, right? But this is his favorite cousin, you know, because he has issues with most people in his family. This is one of his favorite cousins, and he has to go to this wedding, but he doesn't want to go and show up, you know, and seem like he's bothered by his ex and his best friend being together, which he should totally be bothered. So Olivia, you know, his childhood frenemy, she suggests, hey, let me come to the wedding with you. You know, I'll pretend to be a doting girlfriend that's just all in love with you, and, you know, make it appear that you've moved on. So initially Tyler was like, no, because everybody knows us and they know we don't like each other. But when he finds out something, you know, about the ex and his best friend, that kind of sends him in a tailspin. He's like, okay, yeah, let's do this. Come on, Olivia. I'm desperate. You can be my date for this wedding. So of course, you know, when you're in a different environment and you're play acting and things go too far, the lines of what's real and what's fake become blurred, as they do for Tyler and Olivia. And they end up, you know, spending the night together. That wasn't part of the plan. You know, the hand holding and the kisses and the caresses, that was for show because people were watching. But when that hotel door room closed, they didn't have to do none of that, but they did. And this is in the blurb, so it's not a spoiler. But now they have to deal with the consequences because Olivia ends up pregnant. Listen, see, you see what I mean? Like, this isn't just some little, oh, we love each other and let's run away together and all this. No, this is like messy. This is drama. And so that's what happens. It's like now they have to come to grips with their real feelings for each other and, you know, how they're going to navigate this and if they're going to have this baby and are they going to be together. So I'm not going to give any spoilers, but that was a really good one. And again, there is a happily ever after, but you have to read it to see what happens because I'm not telling y'all. So yeah, Just One Favor by Stephanie Rose. Okay, the next one is If Only for the Summer by Alexandra Warren. Okay, so this was another, you know, quick read. I love this storyline. Now, this trope is different because the two main characters, Guy and Nova, and that was his name, Guy, they didn't know each other prior to, you know, ending up in each other's life. They were friends of friends. So there's this couple where Nova, the woman is her best friend, and Guy, her husband, like the woman's husband is Guy's best friend. And they even talked about in the story how it was odd that they never run into each other being the best friends of this couple. But apparently their paths did cross, but Nova has kind of gone through a transformation. Like, she was overweight and I don't know if she wore glasses or what, but she's kind of gone through a transformation. So Guy seems like he remembered her, but he didn't remember her. But anyway, so it's the summer. Ironically, both Guy and Nova are teachers, so they have the summer off. And they have both been invited to come to Miami where their best friends, you know, this couple lives, because the guy is a professional basketball player. And they have this condo that's empty, and they've each been invited to come and stay, you know, for the summer. But they don't know that they will be sharing that condo. And Guy has a son, I think he's like 5 years old or something, 5 or 6 years old. And he's bringing his son, you know, because his son, him and the mother aren't together. But they, you know, they have an amicable relationship. So he's bringing his son so that, you know, he has him for the summer. They can, you know, just hang out in Miami and go see his friend play basketball. And Nova has this off again, on again relationship that she's trying to maybe get rid of. It's long distance and all this stuff. So she just wants to come and kind of like relax and, you know, think about her next move. And when they meet, there's instant attraction, obviously. But, you know, Nova has this situationship with this guy in California, but she hasn't seen him in months because he's out there working or whatever. And he doesn't seem like he's a very good boyfriend anyway, you know. So she's been thinking about ending that relationship. And I guess Guy is just the inspiration that she needs, because ultimately, you know, she does decide that that's not for her. And the thing that I liked about this particular book, I loved Nova's relationship with Guy's son, you know, because she's a teacher and she teaches like elementary school kids, like she has a very good rapport with him. And I know in a lot, like in real life, sometimes it's hard, you know, when people are dating people that have kids, you know, but that's like a package deal. And you know, she never like tried to separate that or make it seem like, okay, this kid is annoying or I just want to be with the dad. But she really I think liked the kid before she ended up realizing that she had feelings for Guy. He's one of my favorite male characters from this section of books that I'm telling you guys about today, because he was just so laid back and so confident. It's like, you know, go handle your situation over there. He's not going to be better than me. So I'll be over here waiting. I'm not going to wait for long, but do what you need to do. And, you know, when you realize what's in front of you, we can see what we can do. You know, like he like was very honest with her and told her things like that. It wasn't like he was trying to impress her or be anything more than what he was. And that, I think that gave her the confidence to do the same, you know, so their interactions were very honest, you know, with each other. So that was refreshing to see. And of course, there were some steamy moments when they did decide to say, you know what, let's stop fighting this. And I was waiting to see how the author was going to deal with the fact that they lived in two different cities, two different states. And, you know, at the end of the summer, like, was that going to be it? And I'm not going to tell you if it was or not, but there was a happily ever after. So you're going to have to go check that one out. Again, loved it. Alexandra Warren's If Only for the Summer. Okay, and the last book is Tease by Melanie Harlow. Tease. And this one was a friends to lovers. It's in that trope. And it was in the fake relationship trope, the billionaire romance trope. I mean, she covered a lot of stuff in this book. So these characters, they'd been knowing each other since middle school and had just kept in touch. And they were like, you know, the nerds, the geeks, the misfits. And that's kind of like what made them kind of kindred spirits. And the guy, you know, he goes off and does this big cryptocurrency. I can't even really explain. I know cryptocurrency was involved, but I can't really explain what he did. But he made billions doing it. And of course, you know, he shed his geeky exterior and now he's like all kinds of hot and everything. And she's still in their hometown, kind of struggling to find herself. She wants to become like a caterer right now. She's doing little jobs where she's like a food blogger and influencer, or she, you know, or something like that. And so it's their high school reunion is the scene, is where the stage is set for this particular romance. So he is like, I didn't like those people when I was there. So I sure as hell am not going to go back like 10, 15 years later to see what everybody's up to, because I really don't care. But she got a gig there catering, so she has to go because she kind of feels the same way. So the main characters' names are Felicity and Hutton. And Felicity has to go, like I said, because, you know, she's catering the event or she has some stuff there. I think like she just did some of the hors d'oeuvres or appetizers. So she goes and she comes in contact with one of the mean girls from back when they were in high school, who is still mean. And, you know, she's like flaunting the fact that, you know, she's getting married to this millionaire guy, and, you know, it's just kind of trying to degrade Felicity, like, oh, what's this little thing you're doing here? And so Felicity just had enough, right? And she just blurts out that she's getting married to a billionaire, like she's trying to top Mimi. Everything Mimi says, she's gonna top it. So, you know, Mimi's like, who? Like, what billionaire? And of course she mentions Hutton, and everybody knows that they were friends in school. So now it's like Mimi thinks she's lying. It's like, where is he? I heard he was in town. If y'all getting married, where's your ring? Why isn't he here? Blah, blah, blah. So long story short, Hutton ends up coming to the reunion to rescue Felicity because that's what they do as friends. They come and they rescue each other. So he comes and like she's telling him, you know, what she did and what she said. And, you know, he like goes along with it because he's like, whatever, we're never going to see these people again. Well, Big Mouth, Mimi, the mean girl, it's a small town. The next morning, they wake up because she ends up going over to Hutton's and staying out there because I think it was raining or something, and she slept in the guest room. I mean, totally platonic. Even though you can, you know, because it's told in two different points of view, and you could tell the little wheels are turning about how they really feel about each other. But anyway, the next morning, Hutton's family shows up and they're like, why didn't you tell us y'all were getting married? So Mimi has told the whole town. But instead of, you know, letting Felicity say, oh, this was all fake, we are not getting married, Hutton is like, no, let's go with this, because his mom has been trying to fix him up and he's sick of it. So they go through this whole fake relationship that ultimately turns real, but I'm not gonna tell y'all like how it turns real or what goes on. But it was a really, you know, it was really cute the way the author navigated that whole relationship, and their chemistry was off the chain too. I will say, little geeky Hutton, the new, you know, hot billionaire, he has a little fetish, okay? He likes to be a little dominating behind closed doors. But that's all I'm going to say about that. You got to check that one out. Melanie Harlow's book, Tease. I think it's part of a series of books, but it's each character. Like, I think they get their own book. This book is like a standalone. So yeah, all 4 of those books were just, I really enjoyed them. And the main thing that all 4 of them I felt like had in common, the characters like actually communicated and told each other what they wanted, what they didn't want, what they could do, what they couldn't do. There wasn't a whole lot of, you know, in one of the stories there may have been a little bit of that, but that's the one thing I don't like about some romance stories is when you have people over in the corner fretting, he doesn't like me. Oh, she's gonna hate me when she finds out. But they never like, yeah, I could do without that. So these characters were like in your face, in each other's face. This is me, this is who I am. And the stories just worked. So like I said, these are not just beach reads. These are not just summertime reads. These are anytime reads. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, I will run over and check them out. And even if you don't have like a Kindle device, you can read them through the Kindle app, which is free. So if you sign up for Kindle Unlimited, I don't think you need a Kindle for Kindle Unlimited, but I could be wrong. But even if you don't have a Kindle, check these authors out and see if they maybe have physical copies that you can buy or rent from the library. You won't be disappointed. Thanks so much for watching. If you have read any of these stories or if you have some recommendations for me, drop them in the comments. Thank you so much to everyone that has subscribed, everyone that takes time out to like the videos and to leave me comments. I sincerely appreciate y'all. And if you have not subscribed, go ahead, do it now. You know you want to. Thanks again for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye.